Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Swati. Are you going to chant us up? Okay.
Yeah, Swati is good.
Okay. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Thank you.
Thank you, Swati.
Thank you, Swati.
Now, so as people are joining in now, there may be some new people to this coming into the group. So, School of Ancient Wisdom was started by Ma Manize, and every Thursday we have the Spiral of Wisdom satsangs, where we all come in together as seekers to seek a path towards ultimate self-realization. We have very many interesting topics, and as you might have, many of you as have heard this, have chanted this school prayer many times, but there's very deep significance in it. But we are all that hidden light shining in every creature, and which means that we are all spiritual beings on a human journey. So today we have with us one of our very own Satsangi family members from the School of Ancient Wisdom, Meera Narayan Sankriti ji. She's actually she's a multi-talented person who has taken us through very interesting programs on the Ho'oponopono, for which she's quite an expert, because she's kind of, she has learned the right approach from the original sources. So today she's with us because of a very interesting experience of hers last week, where she had the good fortune, and I really must reiterate this. She had the good fortune to be divinely invited to visit Mount Kailash. I used to always think these pilgrimages happen just in due course. Like, you plan a holiday and you go for a holiday. But I've also realized in my life, when I go to my Gurudeva's place, that is the Venkateshwara Swami Balaji Tirumala, sometimes no matter how much we plan, it just doesn't fall into place till the right time. And every time I come back, something very nice has happened in my life, now that I've opened my eyes and observed it. And we are really, eagerly, with open hearts and open ears, waiting to hear what Meera has to say. And she's had some lovely experiences. So over to you, Meera.
Thank you,
And
Ramesh.
also,
Nice.
and also thank you for remembering and praying for me and all of us too.
Of course, yes. Thank you. And thank you for inviting me today. It was a surprise. I thought, okay, why not? I share my experience. Hi, Sajani. It says Radhika, so I was wondering. Okay.
It's so good to see you, and I'm looking forward to your talk.
It was just my experience, Sajani. I'm just going to share what I went through. Okay. Yeah, thank you. My very close friend from 35 years, her name is Meena Ambli. She's joined. She's like my coach, mentor, and always, a very good friend. So I see her here. No, she's joined.
Yes, I'm looking forward to listening to you.
Thank you, Meena. So I'm glad you joined. Okay, sacred pathways where every step leads to enlightenment. I think this happened to us actually, because we were going to Ayodhya and then to Mount Kailash. So, namaste everyone. We received, how it started is, we received a video from a friend of ours, her name is Shobha Chandu, and it was about aerial darshan, because we have a group called Travel Buddies, and Shobha, myself, and another two people, we usually go for these kind of pilgrimages. And this was about aerial darshan of Mount Kailash. And because of India-China border issue, that Indians are not getting any visa to do the Manas Sarovar and Mount Kailash parikrama by trekking. I think it's been 3 years now. So besides, since we are above 70, we are unable to do such a treacherous trek also. So I would like for Swati to play the video. That way, in between, is it okay if I ask her to put the relevant photos and videos? Okay. Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
this is the trip to temple, Swati. If you can play that, then they will know what it is.
Eagerly looking forward to it.
Yeah, the last video is the best actually. So, Swati, are you sharing the screen?
Yes, yes. Just a moment.
Yeah. So then, we decided, okay, let's book the trip. But the thing is, my friends are booked in the month of February, and I may go to the US in Jan. And my younger sister wanted to come with me. She is also a cancer survivor, as you all know. That's why I thought, okay, let's do it when she's
Close to
asking.
7,000 different people have scaled Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. But there is one mountain thousands of meters shorter and not even in the top 100 highest peaks in the world that no one dares to climb. Not even the most experienced mountaineers. That mountain is Mount Kailash. In the late 20th century, a group of Siberian mountaineers attempted to summit this mountain. This was just a few decades after another group of mountaineers had attempted the same feat, but ended up vanishing without a trace. Hours into the climbing, each of the climbers made a shocking discovery. They had started to age very rapidly. Their hair and fingernails had grown out significantly, making them look like they'd been living on the mountain for a few weeks, rather than just climbing for a few hours. Not even anywhere close to the peak of the mountain, the climbers decided to abandon the expedition and go back to their normal lives. Unknown to them, normal went out the door the day they decided to climb Mount Kailash. Barely 1 year after their climbing attempt, every single one of the climbers who went on that expedition died. And while that is mysterious enough on its own, the conditions under which all of the climbers died turn out to be even more strange. The climbers, who were all young men at the time of the climb, died of old age, which suggests that the mountain had caused them to age by decades in just 1 year. Experts who have been looking into this mountain say that this may not even be a mountain at all, citing its near perfect sides. They say it might actually be a man-made pyramid built by an ancient but technologically advanced civilization. Some would conclude this race to be divine. Others would insist that they are extraterrestrial. For several days, I scoured the internet, reading, watching, and listening intently to literally everything I could find about Mount Kailash. The result of my findings? A lot more questions than answers. This is probably the most mysterious geological phenomenon to ever exist. Chapter 1. The Mystery of Mount Kailash. Mount Kailash, also known as Kailash Parvat, or the Stairway to Heaven, is located in the southwest corner of Tibet. For many centuries now, this mountain has captivated the collective imagination of the entire human race for many mysterious reasons. And the fact that the mountain sits on the border between China and India isn't even one of them. The mountain also seems to have a thing with the number 4. For context, 4 religions lay claim to Mount Kailash as a holy site: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and the Bon religion. But more on this later. Secondly, 4 rivers flow out of Kailash, and each of these rivers flows in the direction of each of the 4 cardinal points. First is the Indus River, which flows north. Then we have the Sutlej, which flows west. Third is the Brahmaputra, which flows east. And then we have the Karnali River, which flows south. But even that isn't where things start to get strange. Let's talk about the appearance of this so-called mountain. Judging by looks alone, Mount Kailash hardly looks like a mountain. Now, to be clear, Mount Kailash isn't the only mountain that takes the shape of a pyramid. There are many other pyramidal peaks in the world, like Pyramid Mountain in Alberta, Alpamayo in Peru, Muratov Peak in Bulgaria, and several others. However, as you can see, all of these other mountains have the imperfections you'd expect from a naturally occurring landform. Mount Kailash, on the other hand, does not. Its sides are almost perfectly perpendicular, almost like someone intentionally designed and constructed the mountain that way. This gives Kailash a highly symmetrical look, with each slope aligning to each of the 4 cardinal points. And this brings me to my next point. Each of the 4 faces of Mount Kailash is reported to have different colors. The north face is said to be the color of gold. The south face is lapis lazuli. The east face is the color of crystal, and the west face is the color of ruby. Speaking of faces, the northern slopes of Mount Kailash always have far less snow than its southern slopes. Now, that doesn't immediately strike you as odd until you realize that in the northern hemisphere of the Earth, the south side typically gets more sunlight than the north side. This means that, naturally speaking, the north face of Mount Kailash should have far more snow than the south side, since it receives less sunlight. But once again, Mount Kailash bends the law of nature, and its northern slope experiences relatively little snow in comparison to the south face that gets more sunlight and still manages to welcome glaciers and snowfall all year round. As if this isn't weird enough, there's also the very strange magnetic force field on Mount Kailash. On a good day, finding your bearing with a compass is a pretty simple task, since the Earth's magnetic field is as straightforward as a bar magnet with a north pole and a south pole. On Mount Kailash, however, that law seems to break entirely. People who have tried using a compass at Mount Kailash have found that it never works. The needles just keep spinning and never end up pointing north. Mount Kailash also has 0 plant life, which is highly unusual. Mountains always have trees and plants growing out from their fissures. But strangely, on Mount Kailash, not even one plant can be found. It's completely barren. Now, here's where things go from weird to, quote, too coincidental to be random, unquote. The south face of Mount Kailash seems to come with a swastika inscribed on it. No one knows if this was inscribed by someone or if it was the result of natural activity. All we know for sure is that when the sun sets on the south side of Mount Kailash, the massive vertical ice cracks and horizontal strata of the rock form a shadow of a left-facing swastika, which interestingly is considered an auspicious sign for all 4 religions that consider Mount Kailash sacred. Amazed? Well, things get even weirder, because the swastika isn't the only ancient religious symbol inscribed on Mount Kailash. According to satellite views of the mountain, the face of Hindu deity, Lord Shiva, appears on Mount Kailash. Also, the snow on the peak of this mountain takes the shape of Om, which is considered the greatest and most sacred syllable of all the mantras in Hinduism. Things are definitely no less mysterious on the geographical side of things. Mount Kailash is popularly known within geographical circles as the navel of the earth. This is because the mountain sits exactly at the very center of the planet, or the axis mundi, as some religions call it. From this position, Mount Kailash maintains an eerily consistent distance from major structures around the world. For instance, Kailash is 6,666 kilometers away from Stonehenge, as well as the North Pole and the South Pole. Not weird enough for you? Well, Mount Kailash is also 13,332 kilometers from base to peak. That's 6,666 kilometers times 2. On top of that, Mount Kailash has these 2 lakes which bend the laws of science just as well as Kailash itself does. The 2 lakes are known as Mansarvor and Rakshastal, and from their characteristics today, you'd hardly believe that these 2 used to be the same body of water before they became separated due to tectonic activity. On the one hand is Mansarovar. It's a freshwater lake, round like the sun and boasting aquatic life. But here's where things get interesting. Mansarovar is the highest freshwater lake in the world. However, even at its altitude, the lake never freezes over, no matter the time of the year. The lake also never moves, regardless of what extreme weather condition hits the area. Rakshastal, on the other hand, is completely different. Also called the Demon Lake, Rakshastal is shaped like the crescent moon, extremely salty, does not support life, and is quite turbulent compared to the Mansarovar. On top of that, locals claim that the Rakshas Tal periodically vanishes, leaving behind parched ground, only to mysteriously reappear at full volume later, like it never left in the first place. This is why some people refer to the lake as the Ghost Lake. However, none of these features of Mount Kailash are as bewildering or as terrifying as the experiences people have had trying to climb this mountain. Besides the horror story of the Siberian climbers, who died of old age after climbing Mount Kailash, there are other less terrifying but still unexplainable encounters that climbers have recorded on this mountain. In fact, except you're a hardened cynic, you'd probably be, at least, open to the idea that there's something or someone on this mountain who does not want anyone climbing it. Climbers have reported finding themselves suddenly going back the same way they came while trying to get to the peak of the mountain, almost like the mountain changed position as they climbed. Others were forced down by sudden, unexplained blizzards or rainstorms from nowhere, while some simply felt a mysterious wave of illness that made it impossible for them to continue. Colonel Wilson, one of the many mountaineers who tried to scale the summit of Mount Kailash, said, "Just when I discovered an easy walk to the summit of the mountain, heavy snow began to fall, making the ascent impossible." Sergei Chistyakov's experience was even far worse. In the words of the Russian climber, "When we approached the foot of the mountain, my heart was pounding. I was in front of the sacred mountain, which has never been beaten. I felt extremely emaciated, and suddenly I was captivated by the thought that I do not belong on this mountain, that I must necessarily come back. As soon..."
Okay. Yeah. So this was quite interesting, So I said, okay, we have to go. And usually my younger sister doesn't ask for anything, but she said, I want to go. I said, all right. So we thought we'll go in September, and they had given some dates also. So these people called Trip to Temples, they are the ones who organize this. I've sent the video to her, but I think Swati, we can play that a little later. Okay. Swati, are you there?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So based on this Trip to Temples video, which we thought, okay, we can see Mount Kailash aerial darshan, we booked the tickets. We booked the dates with them for September 9th, but then they said, no, it was full. So September 12th was available. And then we said, what are the things to be done? They told us you have to pay us 15,000 advance. And then the total trip from Lucknow to Mount Kailash and back will cost you 55,000. And you can pay that 1 month before that. So now you pay the advance of 15,000, which we paid in the month of May. And they sent us quite a few forms to be filled up about our health and everything. And there was a TCS declaration also, which we had to sign. And then we couriered it back with our photo and Aadhaar card, passport copy, and PAN card. All these copies, we sent it to them. And 1 month before that, what happened was they said, you pay us the money. We paid. And just 1 week before, they had a Zoom meeting. And they explained about the do's and don'ts of the whole trip. And then we thought, they also told us you can include Ayodhya in this, and you can include Pashupatinath, that is going from Nepalganj to Kathmandu. I said, you should have told us this earlier. Otherwise, last minute, if we have to book the tickets and all that, it was again, we had to change. We had already booked in the month of July. However, what we had thought was, we go to Lucknow. From Lucknow to Ayodhya is about 2.5 hours. So we had gone ahead and booked air tickets from Bangalore to Ayodhya directly. We thought we'll finish Ayodhya, then go to Lucknow. So what happened was, our trip to Ayodhya, it was on 11th September. And it was three of us, my sister Asha, my friend Sapna, and myself. We were in for a big surprise. We went to the airport at 4:30 because our flight was supposed to leave at 6:30. And then as we went there, it wouldn't allow us to check in. So we were wondering why. So we went a little early to find out. Then it was some Akasa airline, which I had not heard. My friend Sapna still works in Honeywell. She's my ex, I'm her ex-colleague. So she had booked. And then when we went there, they said, the flight is cancelled. We were really surprised. We said, we have no message, nothing is informed. How on earth can you cancel? Because we have to be there in Ayodhya. So that what happened was the crew was nice. They said, okay, sorry about what has happened. We'll see how we can reach you to Lucknow. But the options they gave were not good at all because we would reach Lucknow at 5:30 and then we can't go to Lucknow, Ayodhya and come back. Finally, Sapna's son lives in Florida and he called and then he asked what's happening. She explained. So he said, I'll give you an option. Why don't you see if there is a flight to Varanasi? Go there. From there, you take a cab to Ayodhya. We thought, oh boy, it's going to be roundabout. Okay. So we said, all right, let's go. Since we had set out for Kailash, maybe Shiva wanted us to touch Varanasi and then go to Ayodhya. How can you see Rama without seeing me? Maybe that. So we booked the tickets. The Akasa airline only gave us the tickets from Bangalore to Varanasi. It was leaving at 6, so we were able to board the flight. We went to Varanasi. It was like a 4-hour flight. We reached around 9 o'clock. Another thing was we have a close friend who is also a professor in BHU, Banaras Hindu University. His name is Vijay. And Vijayji was there. He said, I will take care of your darshan and everything. And he would have been waiting in the airport at 9 o'clock. So I tried calling him. I guess he had reached at 1 a.m. and he wouldn't pick up. So we were kind of worried as to what to do. Finally, he called back. And then we said, we are still in the flight. We will be going to Varanasi and coming back. To our surprise, what happened was our VVIP darshan was set for 1 to 3. So that was a good thing which we had no clue about. And we told the taxi guy, please, we have to reach us by 1 o'clock. And 1:05, we reached Ayodhya from Varanasi. And that was a big thing. We thought, so you can get lucky really. As she said, no, it leads to enlightenment. And Vijay was there. And then we went to Pradhan Archaka's house of, Ram Lalla, because he has given a place to Vijayji to have a Gurukul. And in that Gurukul, there are about 12, 13 children who are, I think, they house them for 7 years. And then they teach them all the Shastras and mantras and everything. And then they send them home. They don't take any money for that. So the Pradhan Archaka has given a place in their house upstairs. So we went there, they picked us up, we went to that Gurukul, freshened up, and then he said, let's go now because it's already, 1:30. So we went to the temple, Ayodhya temple, but we had to walk quite a bit and it started raining. But somehow we went inside and we went all the way in front of Rama. That's the most front part that we could go because of the VVIP. And my sister and my Sapna and all, they started crying with joy of tears because Ram was carved from our own place in, Mysore Hurga, Karnataka. So Arun Yogiraj is the one who has chiseled Rama and he looks so beautiful. And as they explain, he does look very, very real, like Jiva Kale. You can see as if he's looking at you. That was really a great thing. But one more thing I discovered is there were a lot of old people coming who could, hire, for 150 rupees, they take them on wheelchair and then have the darshan and bring them back. It will be just in about 10-15 minutes. Many people were using, a lot of people were using, I think because that's the easiest way of darshan. So after that, but it started raining heavily. We came out, we got the prasadam and everything. We came out and we have to see Hanuman temple, I believe, there. And the crowd was unimaginable outside. for the temple. We could not go inside the temple because the water was quite high, up to our knees, and then the crowd was high. So we just saw the kalasha, if you look at the kalasha of the temple, that is enough, I believe, if you don't get the darshan. That's what we did. And then we came back. It was already about 3:34 and we had not eaten anything except something in the flight. So we went back to the Gurukul, and there these little boys, served us mosranna, the curd rice with pickle. That was really, we felt like a heaven. I want you to show the photo of Gurukul, Swati, if you don't mind, please.
Sure. I'll do that.
Yeah.
ാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. നമുക്കറിയാം സിനിമാ നടികളൊക്കെ സ്ഥിരമായിട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒന്നാണ് ഈ ഗ്ലൂട്ടാത്തോയിൽ ഇഞ്ചക്ഷൻ.
Somebody's talking.
Is this the one, ma'am?
Oh, this is Sarayu. This is after that. Okay, the previous one. This one. Okay, the middle one is me. Right side is Sapna. Left side is my sister Asha. These were the Gurukul boys. They served us food. It was really nice seeing them. They were all from age 7 to about 11 or 12, like that. It was a nice thing. Okay, then show the Sarayu. The next one, This is Vijay ji, who arranged for everything. This is the Sarayu River, which is very famous in Ayodhya, and I think Rama crossed that Sarayu River, if you remember, in Ramayana. So he said, "Why don't you do the puja for Sarayu?" So we went there, and he had arranged for puja and some saris to be given and everything. And it was a nice thing. We quite a long puja. We took the water, we drank that, and then the saris were given to the all the priests there. And that was a good experience because we had not imagined that this would happen. And that was Ayodhya, the previous photo. So this, after the Sarayu, we went back to the Gurukul, and then we took our luggage, and then we booked another taxi to come to Lucknow. So, okay. Swati, what happened? Swati?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think maybe my thing. Okay. Then from Ayodhya to Lucknow, it was about 2.5 hours. It was quite late already, and we reached Lucknow at about 10 o'clock. Meanwhile, we had stopped for dinner also on the way. We reached Lucknow, and we had booked a hotel from Best Western. It's called the Sure Stay, where it is, they had given us. Yeah, is there somebody is showing the hand? Ramesh? You want to ask a question or what? No. Okay.
No.
Okay. I could see a hand. Okay, then we reached Sure Stay at Best Western, and we had dinner already. So we slept early because they had told us that they will pick us up at 8:30 a.m. to go to Nepalganj. And we were all ready after having breakfast. So the trip to temples people, as promised, they came, and they had organized Innovas, 4 in an Innova. Because I believe if you organize a big bus, at the border in Nepalganj, they are going to make all of us get down and then see all the luggage, which would take forever. So they used to send us in small batches of 4 each. That way, we could pass through the border early. And we had kept our passports and everything ready. And on the way, because from Lucknow to Nepalganj, it's more than 4.5 hours. So we stopped for lunch, and then after that, when we reached the border, we could see there was a lot of checking going on. They asked us to get down, and then we were screened, and then our luggages were screened, everything, and then they let us go. I think there were a lot of people who come to India and go back to Nepal, by foot also, by two-wheeler and cycle and all that, maybe to buy groceries, whatever it is. They come and go. We could see the people, walking back and forth. That's why the checking was quite a bit. I believe it is up to about 10 o'clock or so they are there, or 8 o'clock. Then we proceeded, and then we reached the hotel Siddhartha. Siddhartha is a very nice hotel. It's a 5-star one, which they welcomed us with. Can you show? Maybe she can show the photos in the end. I think that will be better, no? Okay, so we reached Siddhartha. They welcomed us with Rudraksha Mala, and they gave us a shivling to hold, a small, nice one. And the rooms were very good. The food was very good, but the rain was incessant. They briefed us at about 8:30 about what they were going to do for darshan that night. We were supposed to be ready by 6 o'clock in the morning for the darshan. But the thing is, so because of the rain, we couldn't go. The next day, what happened was they said we'll go to Bageshwari temple because it's a Shakti Peeth. That Shakti Peeth where, when in Daksha Yajna, where Shiva gets angry because Daksha, doesn't respect him, and Parvati gets into the fire. So when, he takes her body and then swirls it, it has fallen all over, like Kamakya, Nainital in the eyes there. And here, the front portion of the tongue is fallen there. That is called Bageshwari temple. So we couldn't go to Bageshwari either. We couldn't do anything. So 12th was a day that we got a little bit what to do, nothing is there. So we just stayed in the hotel. The rain would not stop. So we were wondering, will we ever get a darshan of Kailash? We have come this far. But everybody was positive. They said, Shiva has called us. He is going to give us darshan. So we are not going to go back. Then what happened was on the 13th, we went to Bageshwari temple, and there is one Pashupati Nath temple inside the hotel. So there we had Rudrabhisheka and everything. It was very nice. After that, we went to Bageshwari. There, they charge you extra money to show the Mata's tongue and all that. And they did the puja. And we had Kala Bhairava also. And after Kala Bhairava, we took a whole thing. There is a standing Ganapati, big one, very beautiful. I've sent her the photos. I think she can show you.
Padma?
Huh? So that was nice. And these guys were all young people. They are all from Uttarakhand, Akshit Negi, Shivam and all that. They were very, very cordial, very nice. And so they said, don't get disappointed. And they have a Pandit, a young fellow who wears jeans, but then during puja, he wears a nice outfit, and then he does the puja. So he stays stationed there because I think every 2-3 days there is a trip going on. And then he comes with us and he does the puja and everything. So Pashupati Nath temple at the hotel was very nice. And then Bageshwari was also very nice. So after that, we went back. We did a little bit of shopping there itself and went back to the hotel. The next day, then the Pandit told us, until you see Shakti, Shiva won't give you darshan. We didn't go yesterday because of the rain. So that's why you didn't get the darshan today. So the Akshit Negi had gone to the airport. They said the visibility is poor. We can't do anything. The 13th is gone. 14th, we had booked the ticket from Lucknow to Bangalore late night. What do? We have 1 day left. We were saying, Shiva, you have called us so far. Aren't you going to give us any darshan? Next day, that is on 14th at 6 a.m. they started because there was sun and everything. The sun came out. It was bright sunshine. We said, thank God. Okay, so 6 a.m. the first batch went. They have a flight which takes only 35 people because each one is given one window seat. Everybody has to see. That's why there are two seats, but only one seat for each. So they made a batch of 2 out of 70 people. So 35 people went in the first batch, 6 a.m. Then what they do is they take you through almost 30 kilometers away from Mount Kailash. And then they first take you one round where the people sitting on that side can see the Mount Kailash. Coming back, they again go one round where the other side can see. So they do like 2-3 parikramas like that. And then the person in the thing, from Kashi, he only does the puja and everything. He gives you mantram, he gives you this Manas Sarovar water, holy water and everything. They give you Rudraksha bracelet. So all that was done. we were able to see. Only thing that they didn't tell us was to bring the binoculars, because the people from Chennai had brought and we didn't know. But if you take binoculars, it's really good. But you have to adjust it quickly and see it. And we saw we could see Nandi Parvat, we could see the Manas Sarovar, and opposite to that, we could see Kailash, Mount Kailash. That was the greatest thing. It was a divine experience because we could see. And really, it was a beautiful thing. And Manas Sarovar also, we could make out because it was totally blue. After 2-3 rounds going around, and then they make sure that all of us get a good darshan of Mount Kailash. Then they bring us back to Nepalganj airport. From there, they drop us back to the hotel. And after lunch, then we start coming back to Lucknow. Again, on the way back, they will check us, at the border. Then we come back to Lucknow. And then there we had some time because our flight was late in the night. So we booked, we went some chicken curry, shopping. We wanted, being the ladies, we want some kurtis. We picked up few quickly. And they dropped us to the airport. From the airport, then, the flight was delayed. Indigo, we were supposed to leave at 8:30, 9:30, we left at 10:30. So we reached Bangalore at about 1 a.m. And then, this was kind of, we feel kind of very blessed, very, very happy. And because as whatever they had promised, that's what they did. And that trip to temples was really good. It was very nice. The boys were good. Everything was really nice. And I think, if anyone wants to go, and they said the best time to go would be March, because March there is not rain or anything like that. Actually, in August, the rain ends. So they start in September, I believe. But because this time, you see even here also heavy rain, a lot of, even in summer, the heat was too much. So they said maybe because of the climate change, September is still raining. Otherwise, usually September doesn't rain. And but anyway, we were able to see it finally, because although he had called us that far, where we were wondering what's going to happen, but he did give us darshan. So that was a great thing. And we truly enjoyed. And I was very happy because I was able to take my younger sister. So any questions you can ask, and meanwhile, she can show the photos. I can tell what it is. I can see Ramesh is eager to ask question. Yes, Ramesh.
Yeah, okay, good. I wasn't able to unmute just now. So yes, definitely. I wanted to ask you, first of all, that video that you showed us was very interesting. I have seen it earlier, just before you spoke. So were you able to distinguish all the 4 faces of Mount Kailash? Did you go right around the helicopter?
We can't go very near because China will shoot the plane. So we can't go very near. We have to be a little. See, if you are a Indian citizen but having different country passport like Canada, London, or US, UK, you can still go do the parikrama, and they'll still give you visa. Okay, you can
Sorry
still
for the
go.
interruption, ma'am. Let me just share the photo set that she has shared with me. So this far, you can just have a look.
Certainly, yeah.
So this was the Ganapati that she was talking about.
That is in Bageshwari temple.
Oh, lovely.
I've sent the temple photo also, no,
And
Shivati?
this far, you can see.
And in another one, I have, I think, made one. Here. See, Ramesh, the blue one you see is the Manas Sarovar, and the little one that you see, in the front is the Nandi Parvat. And the big one in the back is the Mount Kailash. And this in the video they were showing, that there is a crack in the middle. They call it as Shiva's either spinal cord anta, because that's how it looks. That's the south facing alley. That's Shiva's spinal cord anta. So this is Manas Sarovar and Nandi Parvat and Kailash Parvat in the back.
I see.
Nandi is always in front of Shiva, no?
So the small peak is Nandi, the larger peak is...
Yes.
So Manas Sarovar is in the shadows.
Yeah, the blue. Can you see the blue there?
The dark blue to the left.
The dark blue, that is Manas Sarovar. That
So you
is
didn't
one.
see the Rakshastal or whatever.
Rakshastal is on the other side, no?
Other side. Okay.
Ah,
Okay.
so this
Are you flying over in Indian airspace, or have you crossed over to Chinese airspace?
no. It's up to the border of the Indian this thing. That is the Nepalganj is the one that you can go, the nearest.
I see.
Mm.
Interesting. So that means this must be
Also,
from quite a distance, no?
yeah, they say it's about 30 kilometers. See, this is the Bageshwari temple.
Oh,
So
very
when you go
nice.
inside, that is where you see the thing. And this is Pashupati Nath, I think, Meena, do you remember we went to Eknath Ji? They look just like this, no? Meena, you still there? See, this is the hotel there where they gave us the
Yes,
Rudraksha
Meera,
and everything.
I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah. So this is the hotel where we got the Rudraksha and Shivaling and everything.
Okay. And also, I think when you went, whatever photo you've taken of Mansarovar, sorry, of the Mount Kailash, that
Hmm.
is from 30 kilometers away. You could see that much, is it?
Yes. And then, with the binocular, you can see much more, I believe, because these Chennai ladies, they all had come. They were cousins, about 7, 8 of them. They were related to each other. They had made a group and come, about 7 or 8 of them from Chennai. They had brought the binoculars. So one lady called Chandrika, she said, look, I could see it very well. So maybe, that is what the feedback I gave them is, one is to tell in advance that you can arrange a trip to Ayodhya, you can arrange a trip to Pashupatinath. From Nepalganj to Kathmandu is 600 kilometers and the flight charges are only 2,000. We could have gone and come, but we had already booked the flight to Bangalore. So we didn't want to, again change it. Otherwise, we could, if they had told us earlier, we would have gone to Pashupatinath also. Ayodhya, we did it on our own. So they also do it, I believe, which, they could tell us, but they told us 1 week in advance. That is not enough time, no? So that one feedback I gave. And second one was I told them to have this thing, binoculars, ask them to bring binoculars. That way, it is. And then tell which is the best month to travel. Because they told us March is good. And during Shivaratri also they have, but they have more. See, these are chartered planes, okay? So they have their own planes and then they have it only up to 10 o'clock. After that, they don't fly those. But during Shivaratri, all day they have only their permission to fly their planes. And then they fly all through the day, I believe, which they can see. But because the sunlight should fall on the Kailash, no? Then only you'll be able to see. That is what they said. So other times they close it by 10 o'clock. 6 in the morning they start. And when the sun rises, you can see the Mount Kailash. That's what they say. But March, I believe, is the best. If you guys are planning to go, it's better to, book in the month of March.
You mean go in the month of March? So you book about
Hmm.
2-3 months in advance.
Yeah, there were a lot of people from New Orleans, from North Carolina. A lot of people had come. So, and then now the second batch would have gone on the 15th again. 15th was one more going from Lucknow. So that also. Other than that, their arrangements were all very good. It was, as they had promised.
So did you manage to go to the Devi temple before going to Mount Kailash?
Yes, we did. We went to Bageshwari. Then only I think the next day she said,
Again,
okay,
permission.
no rain. So we had a lot of sun and then we were able to go see. But Nepal is beautiful, Ramesh. It's all greenery. And even from Uttarakhand, from Ayodhya to Lucknow, full greenery and a lot of rice and, paddy. They grow a lot of rice there. So wherever you see, it's full green in color. And from Lucknow to Nepalganj also, it is totally green. So you feel good about it. It's really green and beautiful it is. Lot of
Very nice.
haryali. Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, peek into your inner world. When you actually got a chance to get on that helicopter ride to Mount Kailash and you
Not a
went there,
helicopter, it is an airplane.
it was an airplane.
Chartered plane. Yeah, it's not
Oh,
helicopter.
Okay, so it's a kind of a fleeting glance then.
Fleeting glance, but they make you so many trips, no? Go back and they go round and round and round. So this one round, that side people can see, another round this side, and then make sure that you have a good glimpse. They won't come back like that. They'll make the first batch, they made 9 rounds, I believe.
Oh, nice.
In the air, yeah. But for us, they made 3. We were, all able to see.
So, like I said, a peek into your inner world. When you took off from Mount Kailash and you went closer, and when you were there, did you experience anything, any epiphany, or anything internally?
Of course. I think, one person said, unless you are invited here, you can't come. Okay, because Sapna tried to bring her husband and he said no. She said, now I believe Meera, because I think it's because of that. And so when he invites you, he'll make sure he'll give you darshan also. He won't send you back like that, empty-handed, never. And Shiva is a Bholenath, you pray and he will give you. That's
Yes.
one thing, right? So
Yes.
that you feel that both. In Ayodhya also you feel that when you see Rama, because it's such a innocent face, and you see that his eyes look
Eyes are
as if
supposed to
he's
be.
looking at you. Yeah, and this also Shiva, you will feel that.
And
You'll
it's
really
exactly like how our school is, sir. And unless and
Ah,
until you get a time, you will not be there.
yes, like our school of ancient wisdom, right?
Yes.
Yes, Swati, correct. Yeah.
curious to know, Swati, since I didn't know that your mother had also gone there.
Yes, sir. And it
So
was not
what?
planned at all. There were a couple who had plans to, who were ready to go for Mount Kailash, but their medical things got rejected. They were not fit to travel. So in that case, she was replaced. And the other couple, again, they were replaced. They were rejected due to the medical things, fitment
Yeah.
and the personality, everything.
One advantage here is, Ramesh, that you don't have to do any medical. You're just fine because you're going by air, and then no age limit, no medical, nothing. Except, whatever medicines you're taking, you have to take care of that. You have to bring that along and all that. Other than that, for trekking, yes, that medical checkup is required, because it's not an easy one.
And it's not at all easy when you are going against the altitude. The higher the peaks you go, the oxygen levels are very low. And
Yeah.
you will feel yourself one hairpin also too heavy for them.
Out of breath, yes.
Yes.
Your mother
I'd
went
like
by
to tell
trekking.
you, Ramesh and Meera, that I went to Mount Kailash quite a few years ago. I had a dip in the Mansarovar lake. I didn't do the
Wow.
parikrama because it was too much, and it was beautiful. I remember they said, a person who's come every year, that the weather hasn't been so good. We could see the sun and the moon at the same time, It was a moonlight night, because they say when you're there during a moonlight night at Mansarovar, you do see strange things. So we woke up in the cold, sat outside, but unfortunately I didn't see anything. But the
No, but
Mansarovar, when
Sajani,
I went into the lake, it was freezing, but I dipped myself properly. Our whole group did that. And it was
Wow.
absolutely phenomenal.
Sajani, they
Yeah.
say that angels, early in the morning, angels do come. You can see that, I believe, that
Yes,
they
the
take a dip in the Manasarovar and go.
exactly. That's what we wanted to see, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, none of us saw that.
Yeah, but one of them who had done the parikrama also had come, and he was sharing that, they could see that some kind of a light goes in and then, comes out
Yeah.
like that.
It's like
Yeah.
stars going in. That's what we were told.
Hmm.
But we didn't see any of that. But we were so privileged that we could have this dip in Mansarovar.
Wow.
So that was, and the other one, Rakshatal, nobody goes into that lake
Yeah,
because
nobody.
it's not good at all. So nobody's supposed to go into that. But then you can, make things with stones over there. This is a long, long time ago. But none of us wanted to do the parikrama because it's 3 days. And we just went up to the starting point and then got back.
Yeah.
And then all the other temples we saw in Nepal and all. Of course, at that time, the Ram Mandir wasn't built.
No.
But I've seen it when the Murti was in a tent long back. I went to Ayodhya much before this temple came up.
Now they're still building all across, they're still building temples. So
Yes.
the construction is going on, but the main temple is ready. So,
Yeah.
and the easy thing what they have made is the wheelchair thing. I think everybody is taking wheelchair because it's easy. Go, darshan, and come back. That's what it is.
But the
Good.
original, I think whatever you've seen in the tent, what I understand is this deity was made quite recently and from Mysore, right? It was
Yeah.
taken there.
Yeah,
Yes,
Arun,
yes.
yeah.
This is a new
Now-
deity,
Oh,
but earlier they had this, the tent. So I remember we had to go in a queue, go around, then outside there are lots of small temples. We went to all those temples, but it was a good experience.
right.
But that Ayodhya now, I think it's changed, but they still haven't kept it clean outside, I mean, within the
Yes.
temple, okay, but outside it's, North India is still the same, like how earlier Kashi was, Varanasi. Now it's different, but we could see, and the streets are very small, but they have maintained the same thing, whatever it was in Treta Yuga, they have maintained those streets the same. And these boys were driving that Grand Vitara as if it's like a scooter. We were really amazed at their skill of driving in those small streets. And nobody yells at each other. If somebody comes, one backs up and the other one leaves place. It's a real nice experience. So I think they're used to it there. That's why.
Yes, even in Varanasi, those tiny lanes, I
Mm,
remember we had gone there, for Dev Diwali, and we
mm,
had two of these Innovas.
mm.
It was amazing how they drove so fast through those tiny lanes.
Yeah, correct. Even here. So,
One thing I have observed when I go to these kind of places, especially if you are more kind of aware of the inner, self-aware, or you are more, you live in the moment, So at that time, when you come back, I've noticed there is a certain subtle difference in your, pranamaya kosha, if you can call
it
it that.
does.
There is more
Yeah.
alertness. There is more, like you have been cleaned,
Yeah.
detoxified. That feeling.
True.
Do you experience that?
Yes, yes. And they also said, once you go from here, if there is anything stuck, not working, it'll all clear up and all that. So
Yes.
there is
Yeah, in
something
fact,
in our Sanatana Dharma, there is something, Ramesh. It's there,
yes.
which we have to believe, that is there. So
Yes, very much. I think any system that is, linked up with the truth, whether it's Sanatana Dharma, Christianity, or Muslim religion, or any other religion in the world, we all go through our cycles of being aware and then being ignorant. Even if you look at Sanatana Dharma, we went through the cycle of being so ignorant that Krishna had to come as Buddha, dismantle the Vedas, and then the divine came back as Shankaracharya and reinstated. So I believe there also was a time, even in the just today I was seeing this video in the golden period of Islam when they were almost identical. It was somewhere in the Middle East. I forgot the name of that ruler, but he literally sent scholars all around the world. They got all the wisdom in various books. They brought it back. They translated it to the local language and people Arabic, and they were actually developing very fast. And there was a high level of evolution, right from arts to the levels of peace and joy and spiritual connections. So I think that is what universally, if we realize, we will get to see that there are many hidden scientific truths in these practices. And that is where, if you become aware of them, we can really transform our lives very quickly. It's a very scientific approach, but it's not very obvious.
yes, that is true. And this Shah Jahan's son, Dara Shoko, he was very much interested in all the Indian music, classical and everything. That's where, Aurangzeb didn't like him because he was more in towards Hindu thing and he used to like classical music. Akbar also. So that's how, he made sure all
Yes.
his brothers are gone and only he came, Aurangzeb. But otherwise, Dara Shoko was totally towards Indian music and art and everything.
Yeah.
So,
So as long as we keep the awareness higher and we interpret it in the best possible way based on love and truth, that probably is the key, regardless of the denomination.
true. Now, it's coming to an end. Do I have time? Just 3 minutes more?
Yes, of course you do.
Can I sing one Ishvara Bho
Oh,
Shambhu?
please
We'll
do.
finish it.
Please do. Oh, yes, we have
Is it
time. We
okay
have
with
another 10
everybody? Yeah.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Raga. It is it's called Bho Shambho. It's composed by Dayananda Saraswati, Revati Raga. Okay. भो शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो 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 गंगाधर शंकर करुणाकर मामव भवसागर तारक गंगाधर शंकर करुणाकर मामव भवसागर तारक भो शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो निर्गुण परब्रह्म स्वरूप गम गम भूता प्रपंच रहित निज निर्गुण परब्रह्म स्वरूप गम गम भूता प्रपंच रहित निज गुण निहित नितांत अनंत आनंद अतिशय अक्षय लिंग आनंद अतिशय अक्षय लिंग भो शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो दिमित दिमित दिमि दिमि किट किट तोम तोम तरि किट तोम दिमित दिमित दिमि दिमि किट तोम तोम तरि किट तोम मतंग मुनिवर वंदित ईशा सर्व दिगंबर वेष्टित वेशा मतंग मुनिवर वंदित ईशा सर्व दिगंबर वेष्टित वेशा नित्य निरंजन नित्य नटेश ईशा सर्वेश सर्वेश भो शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो गंगाधर शंकर करुणाकर मामव भवसागर तारक भो शंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो शिव शंभो स्वयंभो. Thanks for giving me this opportunity.
That was lovely, Meera. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Meera. It was very nice. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sajani. Okay, now Ramesh.
So if anybody has any questions or anything they want to share about our satsang today, please do. Jasmine, she says that was so beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else might want to say anything?
I'll
So,
send the trip to temples video if you want, Ramesh, later.
Oh, yes, please do. Yes. So on that note, on behalf of the School of Ancient Wisdom, one of our very own School of Ancient Wisdom Satsang family members, I really would like to thank Meera. That was a lovely personal experience. And there's nothing like a peek into the inner world that happens through these, an outpouring of devotion from the soul. It comes out through songs and music. And in the process of her singing this bhajan, I could feel that maybe a minuscule part of her, that devotion and that upliftment that she experienced when she went there, and she shared it with us today. She's been kind enough to do that. And the Lord has been very kind to us too, especially in this very auspicious and powerful part of the year, in one area of our lives, that is ancestral karma. The Pitru pujas have all started for the next 14 more days. So it is a very apt time that we hear, a Shiva bhajan in this manner. So that not only may our lives be uplifted, may our ancestors also be released from their bonds, and may they also find more. So on that note,
Yeah, we'll finish. Huh?
thank you. Om Namah Shivaya.
Sarve Jana.
So let us do Loka Samasta.
Huh.
With the back, neck, and head aligned. Let's remember our loved ones and all those who need upliftment. Their names, whatever it is that they need a relief in. Our communities and the world at large that needs our consciousness to be uplifted. Please sit with your neck, with your back, neck, and head aligned. Take a deep breath. And let go. Observe the silence within. Shiva's language, the language of the soul. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu.
Thank you.
Let's meet again. Let's all meet again next Thursday at the same time for another lovely satsang. Till
Thank
then.
you, everybody.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Oh, Shivaya. They say